Hi, how you doing? I wanted. This is good. This is good stuff for me. I love this kind of stuff. This is an article from LiveScience. It's an article by Ghose. It's spelled Ghose. I think it's pronounced Ghose. The senior writer of LiveScience. It's written today, May 9th, 2017. And well, it's basically it's the oldest evidence of life on Earth possibly found in Australian rocks. That's the title of it, and I'll just read the article to you here. It's ancient rocks found in a remote stretch of Western Australia may contain the world's oldest known evidence of life on land. A new study finds. The 3.48 billion year old rocks are part of an area known as the Dresser Formation, located in Pilbara, Australia. During Earth's early years, the region might have been a volcanic caldera, a volcanic crater that's often created from an eruption. And this was on a small island dotted with hot springs and ponds that were teeming with microbial life, said the study lead author Tara Jokic, a doctoral candidate in geosciences at the University of New South Wales in Australia. Jokic and her colleagues found signs of microbial life embedded in rocks that formed around the hot springs, as well as in deposits in the ancient hot springs themselves. The findings hint that early life may have gotten its start in hot springs on land, as opposed to deep inside ocean hydrothermal vents, as is commonly believed, Jokic told his LiveScience. Life emerged on our planet soon after Earth coalesced about 4.5 billion years ago. But exactly how soon after the planet's formation life arose is hotly contested. Ancient rocks in Greenland that date to 3.7 billion years ago contain hints of microbial mats of cyanobacteria known as stromatolites, while another formation in Quebec may date back to 4.28 billion years. But a lot has happened in the past 3 billion or 4 billion years, making it hard to pin down whether the chemical or geological traces found in those rocks are truly signatures of life. In the new study, Jokic and her colleagues looked at an 8.6 mile long, 14 kilometers, stretch of rocks in the Dresser Formation. These reddish pillowy volcanic rocks were laid down roughly 3.48 billion years ago, and aside from a bit of weathering from age, remain virtually unchanged since then. Since the 1800s, researchers have known that the area contained the fossilized remains of stromatolites. Stromatolites are mats of cyanobacteria, which often live in small, shallow tidal pools and build dome-like structures layer by layer, and then as they pull in the materials from the environment, and then they build colonies atop of the dead microbes on a layer below. And in the study, Jokic and her colleagues found traces of life in a new environment in the Dresser Formation. Geyserite rock, which forms only in hot springs like those found in Yellowstone National Park and Rotorua, New Zealand. They also found a vertical palisade texture on some of the geyserite rocks. This vertical rippling palisade texture forms when long filaments from microbial mats that exist at the outflows of hot springs get entombed in silica sediment that is common in the water. The researchers also found signs of stratomolites living near the hot springs. Finally, the team found traces of ancient bubbles. Although the researchers can't determine whether the bubbles contain oxygen or evidence of life per se, for the bubbles to be preserved so spherically, it has to be preserved in something sticky. Around modern hot springs, the only sticky substance with the right elastic properties to preserve such round bubbles is a microbial mucus-like substance known as extracellular polymeric substance, EPS, which bacteria use to create biofilms. The new findings push back the fossil evidence of microbial life in hot springs by about 3 billion with a B years, they said. Oldest evidence. The new study is fascinating and convincing, said Robert Hazen, a mineralogist and astrobiologist at the Carnegie Institution for Science, who is not involved in the research. Maybe it would be more surprising if there wasn't some ability for life to seize this kind of environment, Hazen told LiveScience. You have chemical energy, which you need. You have mineral surfaces, which can provide a protective environment. It seems like a pretty nice place to make a living, if you're a microbe. The new samples may provide the oldest solid evidence of ancient life, he added. Though even older rocks in Quebec and others in Greenland may contain traces of potential life, those rocks have been tilted, stretched, baked, and changed in many ways since their formation. As a result, it's hard to make conclusions about what really happened so long ago and determine whether the traces of life are indeed evidence of life, and, if so, if they truly come from the primeval period when the rock first formed. Hazen said. By contrast, the Pilbara region contains pillowy rocks that look essentially the same as they did 3.48 billion years ago, making it much easier to make claims about the ancient environment. And this is a different speaker. This is a very detailed paper showing compelling evidence for microbial formed rock structures and some of the oldest hydrothermal precipitate deposits, said Dominic Papineau. Dominic Papineau, an earth scientist at University College London, who is not involved in the current study. However, he is not convinced that the bubbles could have formed only by a matrix of EPS, as other possibilities were not seriously considered, he added. And that's the end of the article by LiveScience, and I'm in LiveScience by Tia Ghose. It's a possibility that we found some really old bacteria. Cool, huh? All right, well, tell me what you think of this. I want to do little science reports like this. And if you like it, comment below and let me know. If you hate it, comment below and let me know. I'll just flip you the bird. All right, thanks.
Spend a little time with the muse in my life. She's pushing me up there. Passage opens up so very wide to a way outside of my danger. The second hand marches down my wall. It's taking chance from all I never got out of destiny. Well, I know a thing or two about this world. Some of it's not bad. She can teach us how to keep in perfect pitch, and we can back her up.